my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harping on Rugby, where, with the help of some fellow fans, I get the chance to harp on what's going on with Leinster, Ireland, and the wider rugby world. First up, joining me this week is someone earning Harping cap number 61. Hello to Mr. Conor Cronin.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Good to be back.
And also with us is someone on appearance number 6. Hello once again to Mr. David Cordial.
Thanks, Jeff. Good to be here.
Great to have you both on. And so this brings us to our final thoughts, starting with Conor.
As I said already, the win is priority. The work-ons are important. Every game you want to come away with work-ons. I think that I said it in the stands at the time. If Ronan Kelleher continues to throw poorly at line-out time, that will not bode well for him when Sheehan gets back, and won't bode well for him if Gus McCarthy starts improving his. I want to see three hookers with clean lineouts. Is it too much to ask? It's your bread and butter. It's what you're there to do. It is your job. You have two jobs on the pitch. If you're struggling with those, we're very aware that Josh van der Flier can throw an excellent line-out dart. There's nothing says the hooker has to be the one to throw. Maybe that's something that could be looked at. But if your flanker is throwing a cleaner line-out than your hooker, you've got to really focus and concentrate on that. But aside from that, yeah, every time it seems the harder we tried, the more things went wrong. But we've come away with a win against French opposition. As you mentioned, there are days gone back where any win against Clérmont was a celebrated thing. I think we should just be happy with it, take it, start working on the work-ons and move on. Get ready for Connacht next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned Dan Sheehan there. Actually, they said in commentary, but Bernard Jackman was having chats with people behind the scenes, and he seems to think that he might be ready to be back by the end of January, which would be great. I think our schedule's light around there. They might have to schedule an extra A match or something just to get some rugby into them ahead of the Six Nations, whatever. But that'd be really good news for Leinster and Ireland if he could come back. What are your final thoughts, David?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, push comes to shove, a win is a win. But it's not a win we're going to be happy about. Particularly when you talk about the seeding at the end of the season, both in terms of the opportunity to win games. A home semi-final, home quarterfinal should be easier to win, but also just in terms of from a business sense, the Leinster Rugby organization would prefer more home games than less. So I hope for our sake, given that I think we would have thought going into this competition away to La Rochelle again in over there would always be the toughest game of the pool, and may yet still remain to be the toughest game of the pool, that if we were going to ship any points or fail to get a bonus point as we did the last time we were over there, that was the game to do it in, not the home game just before Christmas. So I would hope that one doesn't come back to haunt us. The inaccuracies around the lineup definitely need attention, but I think they should be fixable. I mean, these are lads who, if it's the fact that you don't go with Kelleher, you go with Gus McCarthy as a starter instead, then we go down that road. But I also wouldn't say the problems weren't singular. It was a case of both the throws and I think the calling probably needs words to be had. Given the fact that if you counterbalance it with the fact that Clermont, and once again credit them with the amount of disruption they brought to the line out, they were able to identify pretty quickly that Sam Prendergast likes to kick the ball long when he goes for line kicks, and then they used that to pick off two of them that should have given Leinster good attacking positions. They were able to adapt on their feet like that. If they can do that, you would like to think that James Ryan and Ron Kelleher could put their heads together and go, look, we're just going to throw it to one and we're going to throw it quick and we're not going to mess around. Particularly when Sam Prendergast has gone to the trouble of getting us to the 5 meter line inside Clermont's 22. So there are problems there, but I think they're fixable. I definitely think that we need a strong showing in the Interpros to finish. I mean, we're rocking pretty strongly in the URC. That's definitely not the kind of thing you want to throw away just before the end of the year. It wouldn't be catastrophic, but for a narrative reason, even for the team's narrative, it's not. There's no reason to. This was a toughly a win we probably took tougher than we needed to, but it's still a win. You know, keep that momentum going. You've got a home game against Connacht. It's on the 21st. You know, people will be out there looking to have a good time just before Christmas. Put on a show for them. You know, have a bit of fun, and then go down to Thomond. And if you have to wrestle Munster into a corner to beat them, wrestle them into a corner to beat them. I thought Sam Prendergast, despite having his line kicks picked off, I thought he showed very impressively, because it showed that Clermont recognised that as such a strength that they went to considerable effort to try to neutralise it. And I really hope he doesn't lose heart in his attempt to do that, because it is such a strength. And with a little change to the angle or just a little few meters, it's incredible to have a player who can land the ball that far down the line for you. But once again, credit to Clermont for going to the effort of neutralising it. I think the one thing we need coming out of that game is steadiness. There were a lot of moments where we had good attacking opportunities. We made line breaks. We had sets, and it was just, I think the pressure of the crowd, which might sound a little bit weird, but they went into that game. And I think someone in our group chat said it. We all went into that game with a little 5 in our minds. We thought that's what we were going to come out of it with. I thought that's what it's a Leinster home game in Europe. It should be par for the course. And stuff like, and I'm only going off the stuff that happened in the half that I covered, but it just off the top of my head, Snyman's break up the middle, Gunn's snipe, the failed tap and go, attempting offloads when they didn't need to be attempted, when you could have just carried, stuff like that, where you've put in the effort, you've done the hard yards, just slow it down. That, and obviously you want to go fast to take full advantage, but in some cases slowing it down just a little bit, just to the point that you still have control of the situation. And we could have capitalized on, if it even capitalized on 2 of what were, I'd say, at least 5 or 6 opportunities. That's 5 points instead of 4 points. To end on a positive, I will say that our defense is immense. That one try that they got was fluky. It was a bit of luck. It was a chip or a grubber through that came off of a Leinster foot, and then a very quick strike attack from them to literally dive over the line. Obviously they had the other one out on the left wing that they almost got over, but once again, almost doesn't win anything. And it was Leinster's scramble defense. It was the blitz defense. It was their ability to shut down attacks before they ever got going. And that even if they did get through, they'd know they'd have someone. Gary Rose would be coming across. Jordy Barrett would come across. Andrew Porter, when he knocked on the ball after Clermont's run down the right wing, that guy can squat 350 kilos, and he sprinted in the second half up the right wing to get to the point where he could get in the way of the ball. He knocked it on, but he still stopped that attack. So, I think if there's one thing, and I mean, it makes sense with the guy we brought in to be senior coach, that Leinster's defense is still a massive point of strength. And I think if you had to have frailties in one area, I'd take having a bit of a weak line out, when you can have a defense that is that impregnable.
But we're going to leave it there. Many thanks, lads, to Conor and David for joining me this week. Hope to have you on again soon. Thanks, lads.
Cheers, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.